Hello everyone, myself Bautik Trivedi, working as an assistant professor in IT ICT department of LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. I will explain you the concept of Elgmal and Schnorrer digital signature in information and network security subject. So that's the unit number 7 in your syllabus. The name of the concept, that is the digital signature. So in this digital signature, so mainly first of all the introduction of the digital signature. Then after the second point, that is the digital signature standard. Then after the digital signature algorithm. And then after the last topic in this particular chapter, that is the Elgmal and Schnorrer digital signature. So let's start with the concept of Elgmal digital signature. So first of all, whenever you talk about the concept of the Elgmal digital signature, at that time you at least you know the different parameters of the Elgmal digital signature. So first one, here you just see in this particular figure, S1 and S2, that is the signature. M, that can be treated as a message. After that, one important parameter here, the name of the parameter, that is the E1, E2, P. So that can be considering as a public key. But here that is the alias public key. So that's the username, for example. D, that is the alias private key, and R means that can be treated as a random secret, means any random value that can be treated as a R. So must remember one thing, in Elgmal digital signature, important 5 parameters. Again I repeat the name of that. First one, that is the signature. Second one, that is the message. Third one, that is the public key. Fourth one, that is the private key. And fifth one, that is the random secret or random value or random number. After that, if you talk about the any concept of the digital signature, so at that time it generally pass from the two stage. One, that is known as a signing stage, and second one, that is known as a verifying stage. In signing stage, that supported the two function. One, that is known as a F1, and second one, that is known as a F2. Function F1 supported one operation. The name of the operation, that is the mode P. And function F2 that supported one operation, the name of the operation, that is the mode P minus 1. Whenever you apply any particular input to the function F1, it directly generating a S1. Must remember one thing, S1 and S2 that can be treated as a signature. So function F1 generally providing the output as a S1, function F2 generally providing the output as a S2. After that, whatever the function I put here, so first of all, in function F1, which particular input passed as a F1? So here you just see E1, R and P that can be treated as an input for this particular function. After that, for the function F2, which particular input that can be treated as an input here? So M, D, R, P and S1. Must remember one thing, each and every parameter you know. Whenever I directly talk about the concept of Elgmal digital signature, so at that time, first of all, you know the important parameters of the Elgmal digital signature. Then after you go for the signing and verifying phase. So here, with using this technique, you can directly generate a S1 and S2. Currently, only talk about the parameters and only talk about the functions that supported in Elgmal digital signature. After that, this is all about the signing phase. After that, for the verifying phase, in verifying phase, S1, S2 already you know. Then after you directly pass to E2 and P, means total 4 parameters. S1, S2, E2 and P is directly passed to the F3 function. F3 function again supported one mode P operation. After that, in with using the F1, again you pass the M, E1 and P and you apply the operation mode P, and then after you compare both the output. If both the output that remains same, you can directly accepting this particular message. means this digital signature, that's the valid signature. You can directly say that this signature, that's the valid signature. Must remember one thing, any digital signature pass from the two phases. First one, that is the signing phase. Second one, that is the verifying phase. After that, verifying phase and signing phase of the Elgmal digital signature is in a detailed manner. So here you just see, with using one diagram, I can directly demonstrate this. M means what? Already you know, M means message. S1 and S2 means what? S1 and S2 means digital signature. V1 and V2 means what? That's the verification. R means what? That is the random secret. D means what? That is the alias private key. E1, E2 and P means what? That is the alias public key. Each and every parameter you know up to this point. After that, how I execute the signing and verifying phase of the Elgmal digital signature. So here you just see one M means that is the message. After that, first of all, E1 raised to R mod P. So with using this, I can directly generate the S1, and S1 means what? Already you know, that is the digital signature. After that, M minus, then after the D, R raised to R inverse mod P minus 1. With using this, you can directly generating the S2. So this is the formula for the S1 and S2. After, and this is the M, means from the signing phase, you directly generating the two important points. First one, that is the S1, second one, that is the S2, and third one, that is the message. After generating S1 and S2, you directly pass S1 and S2 to the verifying phase. How I calculate? How I put the calculation in verifying phase? You just see S1 and S2. The formula is that E2 raised to S1, S1 raised to S2 mod P. So with using this, you can directly generating the V2. How I generating a V1? So already you know the message M. So E1 raised to M mod P. So with using this, you can directly generating a V1. After that, you compare V1 and V2 both retrieving the same value. If both retrieving the same value, you can directly accepting the message, means this particular signature, that's the valid signature. This particular digital signature, that's the valid digital signature. So must remember one thing, any particular digital signature pass from the two phase, signing and verifying, and in this particular technique, must remember the formula for the S1, for the S2, for the V1 and for the V2. So alias, that is the signer, and Bob, that is the verifier. So this is all about the concept of the Elgmal digital signature and diagrams of the Elgmal digital signature. So here you just see the important points of this particular technique. So up to this point, already you know mainly two processes. One, that is the signing. Second one, that is the verifying. So in this particular signing process, two functions create two signatures. In the verifying process, the output of the two functions are compared for verification. Already you know in this particular diagram. So one function is used for both the signing and verifying, but the function uses the different inputs. So the message, whatever the message, the M, that is the part of the input to the function 2 when the signing phase is there, and it is part of the input to the function 1 when that is the part of the verifying phase. The calculation in function 1 and 3 are done using the modulo P, and the function 2 calculation using the modulo P minus 1. So this is about the Elgmal digital signature concept. Which kind of problem arise in Elgmal digital signature? So the first problem is that the P needs to be very large to guarantee that the discrete logarithm problem is interceptable in ZP. This is the first point. This is the first problem. The second problem is that the recommendation is a P of at least 1024 bits. Means whenever you selecting the value of P, So that supported the 1024 bits. So this could make the signature as large as 2048 bits. Means whenever you're selecting the P is equal to 1024 bits, so it directly generating the signature up to the 2048 bits. And the third most important problem, the problem is that to reduce the size of the signature, the Schnorr proposed a new scheme based on the Elgamal but with a reduced signature size. So after Elgamal digital signature, one new technique arrived. The name of the technique, that is the Schnorr digital signature. So this is all about the problems in Elgamal digital signature. So which kind of forgery? That's a part of Elgamal digital signature. So mainly two techniques. One, that is the key only forgery, and second one, that is the non-message forgery. So key only forgery means which kind of thing? So means one particular user has a predefined message M. He need to forge a signature of any another person. So at that time, first of all, find the two valid digital signature S1 and S2. This is known as a selective forgery. But the particular person must be able to find three random values. One for the M, second one for the S1, and third for the S2. So for this, at least the last two are the signature of the first one. So this is the way you can directly apply the key only forgery. And second one, non-message forgery means what? The particular person has intercepted a message M and its two digital signature S1 and S2. So it can directly find the another message M dash with the same pair of signature S1 and S2. So must remember one thing, the important note here, this is also an existence forgery that does not help the particular person very much. So must remember one thing, two types of forgery here, one non-message forgery. So this is about the Elgamal digital signature. After that, one important point, that is known as a Schnorr digital signature. So Schnorr digital signature supported the different parameters. Again, I repeat the parameters, means at least you know the name of the parameters. First one, that is M, that is the message. S1 and S2 means already you know, that is the signature. V means what? That is the verification. R means what? That is the random secret. D means what? That is the alias private key. Even E2 P Q means what? That is the alias public key. Then after one symbol used here, that is for the concatenation. And H means what? That is the hash algorithm generally used in Schnorr digital signature. So that's a part of the digital signature of this Schnorr technique. So here you just see again that repeat the same procedure. One, that is the signing phase, and second one, that is the verifying phase. So in this signing phase, alias directly pass the M. How I generating the S1? So here, if I want to generate the signature S1, that consists of two techniques. One, you apply the hash algorithm also, and you apply the concatenation also. So here you just see M is message. Then after E1 raised to R mod P, you concatenate M and E1 raised to R mod P, and then after whatever the output of this, that is directly passed to the H, and whatever you generate, that is known as a S1. Must remember one thing, S1 and S2, that is the part of the Elgamal also. S1 and S2, that is the part of this Schnorr digital signature also. But that supported the different formula for the S1 and S2. How I generate the S2? R plus D into S1 mod Q. That is, this is the way you can generating a S2. And one thing, you can directly pass the M also. So the final conclusion of the signing phase is that with using the signing phase of the Schnorr digital signature, you can directly generating a S1, S2 and M. After generating S1, S2 and M, you directly pass S1, S2 into the verifying phase. So what's the formula of this? M concatenated E raised to S1, E2 raised to S2 mod P. And again you apply this particular technique in a hash algorithm also. So whatever the output it generates, that is known as a V. V means what? Verifying, verifier. So S1 and V, after that you directly comparing the value of S1 and V, and if both the value remain same, you can directly accept the signature as a valid signature. So the concept remain as it is, the technique remain as it is, only change in a formula of the S1, S2 and V. In case of Elgamal digital signature, you directly generating the V1 and V2, but in case of Schnorr digital signature, you can directly generating the V. In case of Elgamal digital signature, you directly comparing the value of V1 and V2. But in case of Schnorr digital signature, you only compare the value of V with the S1. So this is about the Schnorr digital signature. Again, this is the last point of this particular session. So must remember one thing, Schnorr digital signature pass from the two phases. One, that is the signing. Second one, that is the verifying. In signing process, two functions are used. So with using the two function, you creating a two signature. In the verifying process, the output of one function is compared to the first signature for the verification. So function 1 and 3 using the concept of P, and function 2 using the concept of Q. Must remember one thing, in case of Elgamal digital signature using the concept of P and P minus 1. But in case of Schnorr digital signature using the concept of P and Q. This is the difference of the Elgamal and Schnorr digital signature. So last steps of this Schnorr digital signature already I discussed with using the diagram. So first of all, in a signing phase, you selecting a one random number. After selecting the random number, you calculating the S1 and S2 means what? That is the signature. After calculating the S1 and S2 signature, then after you sending S1, S2 and M for the verifying phase. In this verifying phase, Bob directly calculating the V. How I calculate the V? That already you know, that's the formula for that. So not repeat again here. So with using the V, after that you directly compare S1 with the V, and if both supported the same value, means S1 is congruent to V modulo P, you can directly treat it, the message is accepted. Otherwise, this particular message that can be rejected. So that is the valid signature. So this is all about the concept of Elgamal digital signature and Schnorr digital signature in unit number 7. So that's all about the unit 7 in information and network security subject. Thank you for watching.